Hello, this is the Radio Geek, and today for you I have the Retekess V117, the FM AM shortwave 3-band radio. I got this radio from Amazon, and at the time that I bought it they were having a lightning deal and you could get it for $10.49. So I got this radio for $10.49. I think it's regularly like $16.99, $15.99, something like that. And I heard from somebody else, it could have been Tuttlebert's channel, where he was reviewing a radio that was, I believe, the replacement for this radio. So perhaps they're just getting rid of these older V117 radios, and that's why they had the lightning deal. I don't know if that deal's still going on or if they've purged all these or what, but I was able to pick it up for $10.50, so pretty good deal. I'll get it right out of the box here. Okay. Got the wrist strap for all you wrist strap fans. It's a pretty nice looking little radio. It comes with the little fold out sheet manual, just basically where the knobs and switches are, and the basic functions of the radio, and it talks about the FM and the shortwave and the positioning of the antennas. So pretty a basic manual, or little leaflet, I guess. But it runs on 3 volts, which I believe it's a couple of the AA batteries. The frequency range on FM is 87 to 108 megahertz, and AM is 520 to 1710 kilohertz. Shortwave band is 8 megahertz to 18 megahertz, and it's powered by 2 AA batteries. So yeah, the shortwave 8 to 18 megahertz, that's it'd have been nice if it went lower than that for some nighttime listening, because usually your shortwave is you usually get better reception at night anyway, and usually at night it's about 10 megahertz and below will be good nighttime frequencies, and above 10 megahertz is usually during the day. And this goes from 8 to 18, so this is more of a daytime frequency radio, unfortunately. But it does have a nice big dial. I like that. The numbers are nice and big, and it has a band selector switch here. And when you switch the band, see if I can get a little bit closer. When you switch the band, there's this little red marker that moves around, and it tells you where you're at shortwave, and FM, or in the middle is AM. So that's kind of nice. On this side you have the tuning knob, and the tuner is really smooth. It's not gritty and it doesn't bind. It's really a smooth dial in turning the radio. And on this side you also have the volume wheel, which is also the off-on. It clicks off and on, and it does have a power indicator when the radio is on. So if you're listening at low volume, you can see that I left the radio on. So that's kind of nice. And I like their abbreviation for power, POW, P-O-W. So yeah, it's pretty nice looking. The antenna is I don't know, I would say it's maybe 14 inches long or so. So yeah, not too bad. You know, it's maybe a little small for the shortwave, but it will probably work. On this side we have a headphone jack, and I don't see it mentioned anywhere that it's stereo, so I kind of doubt that it's stereo, but it does have a headphone jack, so that at least is something. Yeah, it just says headphone jack for personal listening, so they don't say stereo on the box, so chances are it's not stereo. So I thought we'd give it a quick little band scan or partial band scan and see what kind of stuff we can pick up. Let's go ahead and try the FM. All right. It's got a really nice sound for a small radio.
Forever missed. By the way, seriously, if you need something, we're here. 888-515-9224.
The cigarette maker will suspend sales of most of its flavored products. NPR's Allison Aubrey reports the action comes as the company faces more pressure to curtail sales to teens and young adults.
Says it will suspend the sale of flavored products such as
presented by AutoZone.
with a long and distinguished practice.
The resurrection of the just. Now, Jesus has taught this. If you love the people that love you, what credit is that to you?
Since 1945.
All right, that was the FM band. A little quick scan there. All right, let's see what we can find on AM here. That ticking is not the radio, it's something interference I've got here locally. It's kind of tight in here. It goes from 520 to 800 in that little span there. Let's see if I can zoom in on that.
Trying to be more of an offensive team, although albeit here in preseason they're struggling to score. Averaging just 96 points a game here in preseason, the lowest.
You can see that. We got 520 to 800, that little bit. And look how fat that marker is. That's really difficult to tell where we are.
Squawk.com, 772-6229.
Traffic Chicago app. Approved by the mortgage experts of Team Hochberg. Just search TRAFFIX Chicago. The forecast from the WGN Chicago Weather Center.
So that's 720. You can see where you are in the dial there.
60 tomorrow. Breezy, cloudy, milder Saturday.
And get a price for an entire year. Call 1-800-838-88.
Sounds really nice though.
Jordana Green here for my friends at Motorworks Mini. So you know that Mini Cooper you've always been wanting to drive? Guess what? It is time to make that dream a reality. Motorworks Mini in Golden Valley is having its annual 2019 model year-end clearance event, and the 2019 Countryman is marked down over $8,000 off MSRP. There has never been a deal like this. Winter's coming and it's time to get that all-wheel drive Mini that you've always wanted. Motorworks Mini has a great selection of the famous two-door HT that everyone loves. Deals like 36-month lease with only $19.99 total cash down and payments starting at $229 a month. Halloween is coming and deals like this are scary good. Go see my friends at Motorworks Mini and get a deal like never before. Don't get the same boring old car. Get something that'll make you smile every time you get in it. That's the 2019 model year clearance event at Motorworks Mini in online at motorworksmini.com. Get yours before they're gone. And motorworks.com now.
So it's a little touchy because the stations are really butted up against each other. They're kind of squished down. But the dial does move pretty smoothly.
Just lowered in Massachusetts, 21,000 in Connecticut, and 7,100 in New Hampshire.
Okay, now,
I think this is 10:30 WBZ.
we lost power.
It's about 8 o'clock p.m. here locally.
At about 2 a.m. in the morning after my nightly time at the gym, and it was dark. There was nothing going on. Did you guys realize this was going to be as tough as it was? For some reason, maybe I missed the weather bulletin.
Misinformation about me, not about
For quality replacement windows and doors, along with personalized guidance and service, connect with Springhouse Window and Door in Pennsylvania and Denver Broncos. The Denver kid who grew up in town and went to high school, broke his dad's...
Ian, don't respond to these guys. Let's just keep our cool here. I don't think I could have handled it as well.
And it says insufficient funds. That means we haven't done nothing different, but just...
EBO says how much money that's spent.
the other church members, pointing them in the direction. By winning a few battles here or there,
Here who has
One reason and one reason.
Because it turned out he actually said, I'm not leaving. Now, allegedly, President Trump actually says that he is leaving at the end of the year. Now, Trump says that it's happening. Carrie, do you have a full story on this? Because I have not been able to... Now, here's the thing. Harry and his crew travel around the world when it comes to energy. So they might not even have gotten...
This is
A birthday.
we know that always happening.
That was moving kind of quickly there, so you really have to tune this a little slower to, you know, find your stations there. We'll try the shortwave here. I really honestly don't know what, if anything, will pick up. It's in the evening, so and it only goes from 8 megahertz to 18, which are more suited for daytime or afternoon listening. So I guess we'll start at, it's at the top of the band right now, and we'll just see if we pick anything up at all.
Ahora está montado en el vehículo.
Y de momento diseñáis para todos los vehículos que hacéis.
Sí, básicamente...
That looks like something below 10 megahertz.
La aplicación.
necesidad y su economía al volante, vamos a decir, y hacemos, vamos a decir, que el traje a medida, ¿no? Con los accesorios.
We've all had a few teachers like that. Don't worry about that, Miles. It can be scary to kids, though, who are under that adult's control.
Yeah, you're right. Our dislike probably stemmed a great deal from the fact that we were all a bit afraid of her, you know. And anyway, one day I got called out of class. My mum had been in a car accident. She was pretty badly hurt. My dad was out of town on business, but had a bag when he heard. I was so upset.
Of course you were, yes, naturally. Leaves you feeling shaken when the people you rely on, your parents, are suddenly vulnerable.
Yeah, you see, that was me. But it was the last class period of the day. My mum was in hospital. My dad was still en route to get back. And this lady I didn't like, this lady I was quite a bit scared of, was so kind to me. She actually drove me to the hospital when my mum was in surgery. She brought me a soft drink and helped distract me by telling me about a time that she'd been very afraid of for her mum, and how it had all turned out well. She stayed right there with me until my dad got there. It was wonderful. But I do remember feeling scared and vulnerable though. She was like a rock to lean on, you know? And I tell you, Dave, my estimation of her underwent a night and day change.
I'm sure.
She really didn't change, but my view of her changed.
Well, we got a couple of stations being in the lower end of the band there, but you know, like I say, these frequencies are kind of high, which are better suited for you know, your daytime, afternoon time listening. But you know, that wasn't too bad. I mean, we're off the little whip antenna as well, so I would say, if you're going to get one of these, just get it for an AM/FM radio and consider the shortwave as just kind of a bonus. You know, like when you try it in the afternoon, you might pick up some things. It's be kind of fun just to play with, but I wouldn't buy it just because it has some shortwave bands on it. Like I say, those are more of a daytime bands, frequencies anyway. But the AM and FM work really well. Picked up a lot of FM stations, and the AM I was picking up, you know, Chicago and WBZ and some other ones. You just kind of have to take your time in tuning, that you don't have to go too quickly to go past them. And then the other thing is the band, the way they have it broken up here, it's really scrunched, you know, from 800 to 520 is really, you know, pushed down, really condensed, I guess. So you've got a lot of stations in a small area, and that pointer is just, you know, ginormous. You know, I mean, it's probably you know, covering, you know, 50, 60 you know, kilohertz, you know, as wide as that thing is. And when you're going up and down that compressed area, you really notice that. I think the indicator here for what band you're on with the little slider switch is kind of a novel thing. It doesn't want to, my particular one, looks like the ends are good, like the FM and the shortwave work fairly decent, but getting it to center in that AM one is a little harder. It's still an AM mode, it's just the indicators, you can kind of move it around and still be in that band. So that's just a small negative. It's kind of got a unique design. It's got this rounded front top to it. It is flat on the bottom, so it will stand up like so. And it does also have this little kickstand here in the back where you can have it kind of propped up, which is kind of nice as well. So I guess if you're interested in one, if they still sell them, this V117, because I understand they're replacing it with some other newer model, but if you can get one of these, maybe on a lightning deal like I did, $10.49 I think it was, well worth that. It works really well. Very nice radio for $10 or $11. Even at the regular price of $16, it's not bad. Like I say, just don't buy it for the shortwave, but if you're looking for a nice AM/FM little pocket radio, this is not a bad buy. So until next time, this is the Radio Geek.